And now, to make sure that one of these packs stays here until December, because I plan on getting this thing with my 25% off Christmas associate discount, I'm going to hide one behind the super towers that never sell. Folks, I think it's finally time we get a certain multi-pack. Hello everyone, this is HunterTube back again with yet another 80th anniversary item review. And in this review, we are going to 99% complete all of Mattel's 80th merch. Well, 98% if you count the 2026 Day Out with Thomas. But the only one left I need now is Storybook Thomas, because today we are reviewing the Walmart exclusive in the US and soon to be Smyths exclusive in the UK, the Sodor Adventure Pack. So, before we even get to looking at this box, there is a bit of a backstory as to why I waited this long to pick up this pack. So, this pack actually showed up in my Walmart at like the very end of October. It was like the very end of September or October. Yeah, it was the very end of October. And the whole plan was I was going to wait till the start of December to pick this up, right? Because every year that I've been working at Walmart since 2023, I don't know if they've been doing it longer than this, but ever since I started working at Walmart in 2023, I've been knowing that Walmart usually does this holiday savings bonus around the holiday season. Where they give you an extra 15% off to add on to your 10% off discount card, to give you a total of 25% off to use once. And I was going to end up getting this thing with that 25% off, so I wouldn't have to pay the full $32 for this. But then, just the other week, as I was filming this, I found out that Walmart decided to do a diddly doodly doofus thing this year and not do the extra 15% discount this year. I am mad about that, so I had to end up paying the full $32 for this with just the 10% off. I'm a little mad because I really wanted to pay some crazy discounted price for this thing to get like the rest of the diecast plus the 3 bonuses. But anyway, with that little rant out of the way, let's finally get to looking at this box. Alright, so here is the front of the box, and as you can see up here we have the Fisher-Price and Thomas & Friends logo. We don't have the 80th anniversary logo on this box, so this is the second item out of all the 80th stuff to not have a variation where the 80th logo is on it. The other item being the Talking Classic Thomas. And then down here we got the nitrogen promos of Thomas and Percy. It says Sodor Adventure Pack, ages 3 and up, metal collection, and exclusive Thomas. On the side here, we got promos of Thomas, Percy, James, and Henry, who is flying in the sky. And then on this side, we have the blue stripe and the promo of Thomas and James is actually cut off there. Yeah, nice graphic design work. And right here on the box, we have the production date of all of these, which is U23A. So that is the 23rd week of 2025. On the top, it looks like this. We have this, the name of the pack in like every language ever, except Chinese and Japanese. We got Percy and James nitrogen promos. The bottom looks like this. Got James and Henry. And then the back looks like this. So we got the Thomas and Friends logo, and we have all the characters which are included in this pack, who are slightly varied from like how they look in this pack, cause James has his his handrail fixed on this promo image, even though it isn't like that in the actual thing. Annie and Clarabel have their wheels from the original 2019 push along range, even though they actually have the updated wheels in this set. And James is also very cross-eyed, even though he isn't in this pack. But yeah, that's what the back looks like. And now, let's open this box. Alright, coming in for the unboxing, and I know this thing is glued to Heckle and backs. Yeah, they glued this these flaps on here to like Heckle and back, so it's gonna be a challenge to try and save this without destroying it. Maybe I could, you know what, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna grab the scissors here. I'm gonna try this. And take the scissors. Crap! No! Dang it! Ah! Okay, that plan did not work. We're just gonna continue opening it like this. And maybe I'll just not give any commentary here and I'll speed this part up. Yeah, look at that, look at that. It's just brown paper. Brown paper, and oh, there goes the camera. Alright, I'm gonna try the scissor method again. I'm just gonna take the scissor, right? I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna take the scissor here. Dang it! I'm really cutting that. I'm not trying to cut the promo. Gosh! Why is this box? Dang it! Why is this box so hard to open? Mattel, you really know how to... You really know how to make us box keepers pretty mad, don't you? I have made so many holes in this, it's not even funny. This is ridiculous. Aha, finally got it. Okay, that took absolutely forever. That took like over a minute. Alright. So now we can slide this tray out. I'm gonna toss this to the side. Whoop! And we can look at them in that tray for a moment. That nice glorious tray. Now we're gonna pull each one out. Alright, there's Henry. Here comes James. Next, little Percy. And lastly, the reused toolings. And goodbye, plastic tray. Whoop! Alright, so now that all of the characters are out of the box, we're going to take a closer look at each one of them. Starting off with the exclusive Thomas. So, there are a few things that I really like about this Thomas, honestly. And I'm going to get the obvious one out of the way. The obvious thing I love about this Thomas, right, is that instead of the details being painted on, the details are printed on. Oh my gosh. I love it when they do this on the diecast. It makes them look so much better. Because one, not only do the decals look so much more vibrant, because if I bring in this guy here, the original Thomas, the standard one, right? Like you can see how much, like this is the new one, right? You can see how bright those red lines are compared to this, which looks a bit more dull and faded. Like look at that. They look so much more vibrant. They're so much more vibrant on this one, and they stick out a lot more. It's so much nicer. Why can't they just make this the standard? It's so good. And also the roof is fully done and doesn't have a blue outline on it. Kind of similar to the Ruby Thomas here, which also has a full complete black roof. But the other thing about this Thomas and the fact that it uses printed material, right? Because it uses printed material, it has a full gloss finish compared to like the more matte semi-gloss finish this one has. I love this. I love the full gloss finish. It's so good. Like, it looks so much nicer. Why can't they do this more often, man? Why can't they give... I don't have words for this. Please, Mattel. Whatever you do next for the diecast, please, just give all the characters printed material. That's all I want. Stop giving them painted material for like the smaller details. Just give every little detail, make it all printed material so it all looks nicer and more vibrant and colorful and everything else. But anyway, with the obviousness that this uses printed material versus painted material out of the way, let's get on to the real exclusive features of this Thomas. First off is this special face. This Thomas is looking down, and he has a half-open mouth with the teeth showing. And I know there are some people that this print wasn't really centered right, so that the mouth didn't look right, but mine is perfected in like the right spot. And here's it next to this face. I'm not sure which face I like more. I like both of these faces. The Ruby Thomas still is winning me over for the best face, but I think this one comes in second right here. This face comes in second place. But yeah, here's a look at this side. And then here's a look at the special decal on this side where we have a driver painting Thomas's red lining there. When he's got the little paint bucket there. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot get over how nice this printed material looks. Like, you can see the rivets more clearly compared to here, where they feel very faded and muted. Like, even the handrails look so good. The handrails jump out at you. Like, everything jumps out at you. It's so nice and vibrant. I love it. Why can't Mattel do the printed material with all their models? It's such a shame. Like, it lifts the model so much. That's like the main thing I can say about this Thomas, is that the printed material rocks. And also Annie and Clarabel have the printed material too, but we'll get to them when I get around to looking at them. But yeah, that is all I have to say about Thomas, as it's pretty much almost the same as this one and the Ruby one. So go and watch those two reviews if you want to see me cover Thomas in a bit more detail. But now let's move on to the other characters in this pack. And we're going to start off with the most controversial character of this push along range, and that is Percy. So, I have a few things to say about Percy. The first thing I'm going to mention is this face. So, when I look at Percy's face, he's got like these giant dilated eyes. It makes, like when I look at these eyes, it reminds me of two things. One, it looks like Percy's got those giant puppy dog eyes and he's just like pleading to his owner, like, give me some food or something like that. And two, the other thing this reminds me of is that one scene from Mad Bomber when Percy is looking at the camera equipment and then his eyes bulge out as he looks at it. That's the other thing that these eyes remind me of. Also, please don't kill me, Leo, for showing like a 2-second clip of Mad Bomber, because I have a gut feeling that you're gonna end up watching this video because you've watched like the past few videos of mine. But anyway, moving on. Percy's front looks a little weird with this just green in the front. Like, his smoke box just looks a little weird to me. I don't know what it is. It just looks too short. Like, it just randomly looks like it's just there, floating in the air. Like, it looks like it has nothing to hold on to. Moving on to his side, as you can see, his proportion, I don't get it. I don't know, something looks weird about his proportions. I don't know what it is, but just something looks off. To say, like, a take-along Percy, which I will look at, compare this guy to in, like, a moment. But, He's got his rivets, he's got his handrails, he's missing his water cap. He's got a nice pearlescent gold to his dome and his whistle, and technically his safety valve as well, which is honestly a lot better looking than the gold on Thomas here. He's got this very strange font to his number 6, which some people have already pointed this out, and I'm gonna point it out too, because if I don't, everyone's gonna be like, oh, you didn't point this out. Some people have speculated that this number font here is based on the concept art for the Great Little Railway Show Percy, even though in the final episode the model didn't have the number on it, which is even weirder. But yeah, I decided to mention that. Oh, and also the prototype for this Percy here actually had the correct font on it. So why did they change it? I don't understand. But continuing on, he's got them giant side rods. Out of everyone, I think the side rods stick out the most on Percy. Like, if you look at him from the front, those stick out like Mater's Gatling guns from Cars 2. Percy just locked and loaded, ready to shoot the bad guys. And then from the top, they also stick out pretty far. Like, you can see, it doesn't look like Thomas doesn't look as bad from the top, right? Because his are like longer. But since Percy's are so short, it honestly looks like, this is what it looks like to me. It looks like the rods are backwards. Because, like, I know all the Percys are like this, but it looks like the rods are backwards because this part sticks out more from where the inside pole is to hold the thing in. That's why it looks so, that's why Percy's rods look so off. Because it looks like they put them on backwards. Why did they do it this way? Why didn't they have this part sticking out towards the front? That confuses me. Another thing that confuses me about Percy is, like, I feel like they should have thrown his rods towards the back half of him instead of like the front. Cause if they did that, then they'd have room to put his little piston there. But yeah, moving on to the cab, we've got his nice open cab there. He's got the rivets around it. And then, this was obviously unintentional, but Jay pointed this out too. But the plastic that holds the dome and whistle in place, it makes it look like Percy has a firebox inside of him. That's a cool detail. But then moving on to the back, the bunker isn't painted, the back of it, sadly. And also, his coal is painted for some reason, compared to Thomas, where he has a plastic coal load. Like, why didn't they just make this whole bunker piece like a piece of plastic? I think I know why, because then they'd have to make the roof a piece of plastic, and they didn't want to complicate everything. But, just like Thomas, Percy also has that weird, inward slant. That, like, why did they have that? It's so weird. And he also doesn't have a back lamp, which is interesting. And he has painted back buffers, too. And yeah, of course, the running board is slightly modified. I'm pretty sure the running board, I think the running board might be exactly the same mold, but maybe just slightly retweaked from the All Engines Go Percy. But yeah, that was Percy. And now we're gonna compare him to a few Percys. Alright, so the first Percy we're gonna compare him to is the Take Along and early Take and Play Percy. And this is probably where the problems with this thing lie. So, like, if you look at this Percy, right? I think the main problem with this is that his smoke box, like, look at how big his smoke box is on this Percy here. Like, it sticks out quite a bit. On this one, it's so skinny. Like, it looks so skinny. It just looks so weird. It doesn't even look like it's part of him. It just looks like it's floating. I think that's the main problem with this Percy and why his proportions look so weird. Like, it makes his boiler look ginormous compared to the rest of his smoke box. That's probably why this Percy looks so weird in the first place. If we come around to the front, ignore the weird... Actually, wait. For the front here, I'll compare this Percy. Like, it looks a little... Like, this front looks a little more natural. Because the little square thing on Percy comes all the way down to the ground. While this one, it stops midway for this green line here. That really doesn't exist. And he doesn't even have his, he doesn't have his smoke box frames either. This new one. So that's interesting. And then looking from the top, yeah, Percy's boiler looks ginormous compared to this. The smoke box being way too short really does something to you. Why? Percy definitely looks weird proportion-wise. Like, yeah, also ignore the fact this one doesn't have a number. It rubbed off, so yeah, but there's the number comparison. And then the backs look like that. Like, I don't know which Percy is better. I'm aiming towards the take along. That one seems to look a little nicer than this new one. I don't know. Watch everyone go complain to me. I don't know. Like, it's a tough choice. This one does look good, but I'm leaning more towards this one in terms of proportions. The proportions on this one look a slight bit better than this new one. Percy might be the strangest out of all the new diecasts. Like, Percy's the most hodgepodged one. That's what I can say. But yeah, that was it next to, like, probably the best proportioned Percy. And now we're gonna throw it next to, like, the worst proportioned Percy. The Trackmaster Push-Along. Okay, so starting off with the front, right? I think I can safely say this face here on the Trackmaster Push-Along Percy is definitely a lot better than the giant puppy dog-eyed Percy we get here. And even with this Percy here, the smoke box, again, looks a lot nicer than this new one. Like, it's nice and big. And then the front, look at it, he's even got the smoke box splashers, even though they're not painted. We got like a small green block there, which is meant to represent the bottom of the smoke box, even though it should be black like it is here. And then we got like his two toolboxes on the side. But this one, again, we get the toolboxes on the side, we get the small tiny frame for that, and then we get this big green block. Why is this big green block even here? I don't understand. Ugh. Also, I'm not sure. Yeah, are these the same height? Yeah, these are the same height. They didn't bother to change the height of these like they did with the motorized Percy. So that's another advantage to this Percy, because this one's up higher. This one's actually down lower. But we compare the sides. Looking at the sides, this one's definitely better proportioned than the Trackmaster Push-Along. I can say that for sure. Now this one looks more proportionate better than what we got beforehand. Like, man. Comparing it to the Take-Along definitely looked better proportion-wise than this. But this looks better proportion-wise compared to this thing. And then there's obviously a height difference. This is definitely a little bit taller. I'll drag this down so you can see. Yep, he's a little bit taller than the Push-Along Percy. Also, both of these don't have the back of the coal bunker painted, so that's interesting. Yeah, there's the number comparison. This one's got the better font. And then this one has the water cap, and then has the safety valve and the whistle separated, compared to this one where it has both of them attached to each other. But yeah, that was Percy, the new Percy next to the Trackmaster Push-Along Percy. Anyway, you can get out of here. And yeah, that was Percy. Actually, wait, I just realized there was one Percy I forgot to throw in for the comparison. This one's just for sillies. The magazine Percy from the UK. This one is similar to the take-along proportions, but it improves upon a few things. Like, it's got the bottom bit of the smoke box is black like it should be compared to green. Like, I don't know. Something about the take-along Percy just screams better proportioned than this new thing. This one just... Putting the take-along Percy next to this new one just makes this one feel way too long and clunky in comparison to it. It just looks... I don't know. Something looks off about this Percy compared to the take-along one. It's definitely the way the smoke box... It's definitely the way how long the smoke box and boiler are. Because this one has like a nice long smoke box and a nice short boiler. While this one has like a tiny smoke box that looks like it floats in the air and a nice long boiler. Like, it's so weird. And I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, that was our bonus comparison. But yeah, there's the sides, there's the tops. I don't know. But yeah, that was Percy. And now let's move on to the next character. Our next character is going to be James the Brains. So, first, let's take a good look at him. Here's his face. I'd say that's a very nice James face. Spot on. His eyes are looking up. He's got his little crow's feet there. He's got a nice James smirk. Here's the side. Looking nice and long and tall. Seriously, this is like a very tall model. He's got them gray wheels. And he's got golden rods, which may be a reference to the James from the nursery rhyme series. Although some people have pointed out that it is very hard to tell, but he actually does have gold rods on his CGI model. It's just very hard to tell. There's the handrail, which is different from what it is on the box promo, where it doesn't go all the way to his firebox. Speaking of that firebox, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see it clearly from the back. Yeah, even James has the weird thing where his body curves inward for some reason. Why does it do that? Why are all these models like that? And then, another weird consistency thing is, like, his arches here are metal. His arches here are metal. Like, I'll get to the reason why I'm saying this once we get to Henry. But he's got a nice gold dome, which, honestly, it also looks better than Thomas's gold. But, I've been told it's slightly different than Percy's. I mean, it looks about the same. And then we come to his cap here, and he's got a nice printed roof. Thank you for making it printed, Mattel, and not painted. And he's got his whistle, which is also printed. And then on to the side decals, all this is painted on. He's got them handrails, he's got them rivets. He's got rivets along his arches, he's got rivets down there, rivets on his boiler. Doesn't have any on his firebox. And here's the back of James. Here's the underneath. It says James. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yep, there's all the production dates. U23A. Look at Percy. U23A. Thomas. Where's his U23A? Yep. All consistent. Yeah, and that was the front of James. And now, let's look at his tender, which is literally just reused from the All Engines Go James, except they slightly changed the lettering, and they changed the wheels and the coupling. But yeah, and then the back, yeah, he's got the painted buffers. Here's the other side. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. Also says U23A. Oh, and interestingly, each character here doesn't have the item number from the pack. they actually have their item numbers from their singular releases. Like if we look at James here, his says JGF 90. Percy's says JGF 89. This Thomas here, since it's part of the multi-pack, says JGV 01. So yeah, these models are basically just the singular releases thrown into this pack, because they have their standard release item numbers underneath it. So that's interesting. But yeah, James has screws, so you can unscrew his entire body. Yeah. And now that we're gonna compare some Jameses, this is where I'm going to get to a few things they should have done with James. Starting off with the comparisons, we're gonna compare to one that is nearly identical to this James, and that is the All Engines Go James. So first off, this James is like 1.5 times longer than the All Engines Go James. It's like they took the running board for this James and they just extended it out further. Because what it's looking like is that the cab, all the way up to where the smoke box goes, seems to be the exact same length. And then they just extended the front out like by a landslide. And for everyone who says... Actually, now that I look at this more... This James? Now that I look at this more... This definitely looks slightly modified from the All Engines Go James. Obviously, one thing, the boiler is a lot skinnier on this one and is more even compared to whatever that is. But when I look at the firebox, the firebox looks to be the exact same width as the All Engines Go James. Obviously, it goes down further, or it looks like it goes down further, because we have the splasher there. Hold on. It's kind of hard to tell. Does it go down further? I cannot tell. This metal piece might be slightly modified from the All Engines Go James. But, the cab is also slightly modified from the All Engines Go James. It's not a direct replica of it, like some people have been saying. No. Because the back half actually is perfectly straight now, compared to this one, where it has a bit of an angle. Because you can see it, like, sort of curves a bit. So the actual cab window is a bit more oval shaped there. It's more round circle shaped there. The whistle is also a different style to this. So it looks a little different. And yeah, but other than that, I'm pretty sure it's slightly retooled from the All Engines Go James. Oh yeah, and this one also has the weird inward curve. So yeah, that's why this one has the weird inward curve, because it's slightly retooled from it. But yeah, this James is basically, the entirety of this James was basically retooled from the All Engines Go James. They just basically retooled the molding for it. And then we get onto the tender, which is basically the exact same as the All Engines Go one, except the font and lining are different. Also, is it just me, or does this feel heavier? Okay, no, they feel about the same. Oh, and also, this one actually has painted back buffers compared to this one. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the normal James. I need to remember. This is the track team James, so the tender doesn't have painted buffers on the back. But yeah, it's pretty much identical except for the font and the wheels. But I am going to say something that they should have did with this James. So, you know the prototype All Engines Go James, right? And how that tender had a 6-wheeled tender that was longer. You know what they should have did with this James? They should have given this James here the tender of the prototype push-along All Engines Go James. That would have lifted this thing so much, and we wouldn't have complained about the fact that it reused the All Engines Go tender, because it technically wouldn't have, because then it would have used a tender from a canceled all engines go James model. But anyway, that was the main comparison out of the way, and now we're gonna bring in some bonus comparisons. The first bonus comparison is one where this James wins immediately. Try master push on James. Yeah. Look at this. This guy towers him. Holy moly. He's also longer in length too. Like, look at that. Yeah, this James wins immediately. Like, look at this. This is horrendous when you compare it to this thing. Like, you call this good? Why are these arches so split out? There's literally no comparison between these two. There's no competition. And then the tenders, I don't know which tender I'd say is better. I still kind of wish they didn't use the all engines go tender and they used that 6-wheeled prototype one. That would have lifted this James so much. Yeah, here's the faces. I don't really know what to compare on these guys, because there's really no comparison. Because this James wins. This one has 3D boiler stripes. The handrail is just a straight line, which has no extra detail to it. But yeah, new James wins. Goodbye, push on James. Onto the ground you go. Next comparison, we're gonna bring in the Take Along James, who is even more of a shorty compared to this monster. But yeah, this one has the correct looking handrail compared to this one. This one towers it in length and height. Like, look at that. That is insane. Why is his whistle there? Oh, no, wait. That's a safety valve. I forgot that James always had his safety valve on, like, his firebox. But, yeah. That's the front. This James has the extra detail of a firebox. And then the tenders. I think this tender wins because it's got the 6 wheels and it doesn't have like a cartoony shape to it because they reused the all engines go mode. But yeah, that was the comparison of the Jameses. And that was James in general. And the next character we have on our list before we get to the reused toolings is the Tree Hugger, Henry. So, looking at him, here's his front, here's his face. I think it's a really good Henry face. I think they did a really good job with that face. Here's his side. Now, I have a few things to say about this Henry, right? First off, it's the arches. One, they're made of plastic compared to like James, where his arches were made of metal. So that's like an interesting thing right there. And two, everyone has pointed this out on how he doesn't have his third arch. But honestly, here's a way I feel like they could have squeezed in that third arch, right? They could have did a thing where they made the arch part of the plastic mold for the cab and had it be part of the cab and just have it come out halfway like that from the cab. It could have been like the same width as the cab, which kind of would have broke the logic of how these arches are in a bit more. So this arch would have probably stuck out a bit further on the running board compared to these two. But honestly, I feel like that is a way they could have thrown the third arch on here. Another thing I'd like to point out about this Henry that no one has pointed out before is that there is a slight slant where the connection between his smoke box and his boiler are. It's very, very subtle, but once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. It's a slight diagonal slant. It's not perfectly straight. Why they did this, I have no idea. But anyway, continuing on. He's got the nice painted buffers. The smoke box frames are actually part of the chassis here, which is interesting. He's got his piston, which is attached to his little, I forgot what it's called. It's like a steam pipe or something. He's got his handrails, which are actually three-dimensional compared to James, which just has them printed on. And then they just stop here. Like, also he's got a tiny funnel. Like, oh yeah, coming back to this, Henry is short compared to James. Like, look how short he is. He's so short in length compared to James. James towers him in both height and length. Henry looks like a midget compared to James. Let me point this down. Yeah. He's got them nice rods, which honestly, yeah, with the tender engines, when you look at them head on, their rods don't actually stick out as much. Because they're nice, big, beefy engines. Like I'm looking at Henry head on, you can't even see his rods sticking out. That's how good it is. James is about the same. If you look at him head on, you can't really see his rods sticking out. With the smaller engines like Percy, you can see his little Gatling guns just sticking out right there. Thomas, he's got his little Gatling gun sticking out a little bit. Not as bad as Percy. Percy's stick out the most. That's the thing. And I still can't get over how these side roads look like they're backwards. Why did they do it like that? Anyway, back to Henry. Another thing I'm just noticing, I don't know. What is this? Does this have a slant too? I don't know. My mind might be playing tricks on me because of how long this plastic cab roof is. And Henry is the only one to have the plastic cab roof compared to everyone else who has a... Oh no, wait, James has a plastic cab too because his whole cab is plastic. But it's not a separate piece. It's part of his cab. It's all one singular piece. But Henry's roof is separate from the cab. Like... Where's the consistency between these things? Each one of these four has like a separate consistency from the other, and they all feel like they were made by some, like, four individual people. But yeah, he's got them rods. He's got them nice wheels. And he's got the rivets, which he actually didn't get in the actual show. He's got his dome and his top feed. And then there's his firebox. Here's the back of Henry. And yeah, honestly, not a bad model by any means. Henry is pretty good, honestly. And here's his tender, which is the first in a very long time where the running board doesn't exist on here. And that shouldn't exist in the first place. So that's just been a thing Take-Long has been doing from the start. And honestly, it does look a little weird without it, but honestly, I think I've gotten used to it. It's the back where things look the weirdest. Like, they didn't even bother painting a buffer beam on the back, so that's why it looks a little weird on the back. But from the sides, I've kind of gotten used to it. Here's the front, which has that nice little curve in it. And then, it's actually a nice, big, wide tender, too. Like, the tender is very wide compared to, like, James's. Which is actually kind of a bit more skinny because it's got the cartoony look. And it's also got that running board. But yeah, Henry's got a nice big beefy tender. And there's his plastic coal. There's whatever that black thing is. That boxy thing. Here's the underneath. Yeah, look at that. JGF91 is his item number. And his production date is just like the rest of them. U23A. 23rd week of 2025. But yeah, each character has their individual singular item numbers, so that's very interesting. But yeah, now let's get to the comparisons. So the first comparison we're gonna make is with the All Engines Go Henry model. And honestly, looking at these two don't look very different from each other. I'm looking at the firebox, right? The firebox looks almost identical. This one looks a little bit wider than this one. And also, this one is basically a retooled Gordon. So, I think they kind of retooled the All Engines Go Henry slightly to make this Henry, now that I think about it. The cab is also a bit longer on the new Henry. Like, look at that. It's a bit longer, and it doesn't have that extra Gordon shape to it, because obviously this was just retooled from Gordon, just like how he was in the show. Here are the sides. This one has the third arch, because it's retooled from Gordon, again. And then the dome is yellow, because again, retooled from Gordon. And then the tenders, obviously this one has like the Fowler tender. This one has the accurate Henry shaped tender. But yeah. Also, these two are about the same length as each other. Like, look at that. They're about the same length as each other. And also, what else? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. This Henry is slightly taller than this one, so that's interesting. They both got the open cab, and yeah, that's really all I can think of for comparisons with the All Engines Go Henry. Now, for this next comparison, this might be a jump cut edit in, because I swear I have a Take Along Henry, but I can't find it anywhere for the life of myself. So, if I do manage to find my Take Along Henry, there will be an edit right here. Okay, there was still a clip jump anyways, but that was Henry. And now we're gonna get on to the lazy ones. Annie and Clarabel. So, obviously, everyone knows it by this point, but Annie and Clarabel are reused from their 2019 push-along models. And sadly, I do not have their 2019 push-along models, so I cannot compare these to those. But, other than the obvious, in the fact that they have a different, print decal compared to all the other versions, they have the new wheels compared to those ones. And they actually have painted buffers compared to the 2019 ones, which I know those don't have painted buffers. And their chassis are also done in that Ironanus gray, like all the other characters here, compared to all the other 2019 re-releases, which use their black chassis. So, something was going on with the releases of Annie and Clarabel, which made them put a little bit of effort into these two, but not all the other 2019 re-releases. Can someone explain that to me? Also, I'm just looking at this now. Why does it look like Clarabel, Clarabel, is a slightly lighter shade of orange to Annie? I think it's even picking up on the camera. Like, you can see that, right? Pointing it in the lighting, Clarabel looks a little bit lighter in orange compared to Annie. And I don't know why. But first, starting with Annie, here's her face. She's got some gray windows. I'm pretty sure it's because the windows are pulled down. And she's got some lipstick on her lips. And she got eyelashes. Here's her side. And she's actually got like... The yellow means there's like kind of lights on inside of her coach. I like how there's like a variation of like windows here. Like some are fully open, some are slightly open. You can see a bit of light shining through the underneath of them through the curtain there. We've got these little bits painted. I don't know if those little bits are painted on the 2019 ones. Look, even that tiny window has yellow detail. Here's the back. We got a bit of detail there. Here's the other side. We got some more full open windows and some... We've got a fully shut window. And then there's again the tiny window there. That's a full open. Yeah. Here's the top. These things on the top look way too thick. But yeah, you can see where this comes in. Like, this is so squished. Like, if we put it attached to Thomas, right? They look so small compared to him because they're so squished down in height. There's part of me that wishes they actually redid these molds, but part of me kind of likes the way they did this. And then moving on to Clarabel here, we got more people in here with fully open windows and some partially open windows. I'm pretty sure there's one there. Yep, this one here. This one here is like nearly open windows. Like, they're still open, but not as low as this one. And this one's also got a variation as well. So yeah, that's nice. Also, this is weird. This only happened on Clarabel. It was like that at all the ones that were at my Walmart. Clarabel, for some reason, has this weird curve in, like, the way this was molded. And it's only on that one side. This is straight there, but it's got a weird warp. It's got a weird warp in, like, the molding. I don't know how that happened, but it was like that at all the ones that I saw at my Walmart. But yeah, oh yeah, and here's her face. She's got, like, the closed lips with the lipstick. She's got them cheeks. Her eyes are open at the same distance. But yeah, that was Annie and Clarabel, and I'm pretty sure their item number, yep, their item number is the item number of the multi-pack, JGV01. And of course, their production date, 23rd week of 2025. Hooray! But yeah, that was all the characters in the multi-pack. So, what are my final thoughts on the Sodor Adventure Pack? I'd say it's a pretty good pack, and it's definitely a much easier way to collect the engines than getting them solely individually on their own, as seeing this pack was pretty much released in every Walmart before the singles even showed up. So basically, I took that as the advantage way of getting the rest of these characters individually, plus the special Thomas, as I knew I wanted this Thomas to complete the collection, and I knew this would be an easy way to get the rest of the characters. But I'd say you should definitely pick this pack up. It is definitely worth it. But as you can see, with all these characters lined up, you can really see how much James towers everyone. Let me bring this down. Like, look at that. James is taller than literally everyone. James towers all the characters. Like, the scaling of these things is so whacked. It's so weird. But now that we took a good look at all these characters, let's see how they drive around the tracks being pushed by an extra coach or something. And that was the running session of the Sodor Adventure Multi-Pack. So, before anyone asks, yes, these models will be used in my series, and they might even make a brief appearance in the movie. These two at least, for like close-up shots of like the engines braking. But speaking of that, I hope you all enjoyed the new teaser for that. So be prepared. But anyway, this is 100Tube saying thanks for watching, bye for now, and unless I manage to somehow find Storybook Thomas in this magical period of time of when this gets uploaded, the next video will most likely be something different. But anyway, bye for now.